Hey, y'all, welcome back. Today's story involves a parent that should have never been a parent. Being a parent takes exponential patience and even more love. Caleb, little Damon's father, unalived little Damon at 5 months old because he could not take the constant cries. Listener discretion is advised. Let's take a walk.
This is the story of Damon Scott. Baby Damien was born February 2019. He was a happy little infant, was always smiling. But sadly, his life would come to a fatal end on July the 11th of 2019 in Amar Beach, Florida. He was only 5 months old at this time. So on a normal evening, at his home with his father Caleb, baby Damon was distressed and was crying hysterically. His father was enraged by this. He says he threw Damon at the changing table, and he went limp. This is at least what he claimed on the phone with the 911 call. But there is so much more to this story. When the authorities and the paramedics arrived, Caleb was arrested immediately after they took one look at baby Damien. Besides the lie of the lightly throwing him on the changing table, Caleb and Stephanie, that's Damon's mother, who was working during this time of the tragedy, they both said that the box fan had fell on baby Damien's face. But after hours of interrogation and great work by the Florida detectives, Caleb decided to come clean. Caleb said he could not take the constant crying, so he picked baby Damien up and dropped him to the floor face first. Side note, Caleb is 5'11", y'all. That was a very long fall. WTF. Oh yeah, Caleb? That would definitely make him stop crying. Ah, you freaking worthless moron. But next, Caleb says he propped baby Damon up on a pillow on the bed and went outside to smoke a cigarette. He said when he walked back in, Damon was still crying, so Caleb then says he grabbed him by his neck, held him up and shook him, begging him to stop crying. OMG, y'all, he's 5 months old, not 5 years old. You tell him to please stop crying probably sound like Chinese. Sounds to me he don't know what the hell you're saying. So anyway, he says next, he used extreme force to slap the baby in his face. Damien was of course still crying. You beating the living bejesus out of him. So this is when he actually does forcefully throw Damien on the changing table. Damon hits his head and dies instantly, which Caleb calls going limp. So at the hospital is Stephanie, his bio mom, and her best friend, Krista. Krista had identified a body after he was pronounced deceased because Stephanie refused to go see her own baby. Krista says what she saw was mortifying and Damon should be ashamed. She said Damon had fresh cigarette burns in his ear. I'm sorry. She said Caleb should be ashamed. I'm sorry. Damon had fresh cigarette burns in his ears. He had blue bruises all over and around the top portion of his head. He had bruises and stripes all down his right arm and his left leg, and burns also behind his ears. Krista was livid and also said at this time that Stephanie was not a good mom and that she gave away her fire other kids. If she's gonna do this to Daemon, she should have gave him away too, in my opinion. So Stephanie decided to plead guilty to neglect of a child, failure to report, and culpable negligence causing harm. Culpable negligence pretty much means you're as more at fault as the person who did it. She was sentenced to 12 years. Caleb, on the other hand, decided to go to trial. It lasted only 3 days, and he was found guilty of first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse after only 6 hours, and sentenced to life without parole because they don't honor the death penalty. My final thought on this particular story. As parents, we are to help find comfort for our children and definitely our infant that cannot communicate. Caleb never said he fed Daemon. He never said he changed Daemon. He never said he checked for fever. He never said he checked for signs of illness. He never even said that he rocked him or loved on him. Instead, he inflicted pain, which would make an adult cry. So of course it's going to make Daemon cry more. If you are a moron like Caleb, know that if your baby is crying, inflicting pain on it will not make the pain stop. It will only make your evil ass feel good about what you're doing. And if you are a new parent and you're listening to me, use the process of elimination that I just laid out above. You aren't checking, make sure they're not hungry, they're not sick, they're not feverish, they don't want attention, and their diaper does not need to be changed. If none of those work, give the baby a soothing bath with a little music playing, or you can sing yourself. Then if that doesn't help, call someone. Then put the baby in a safe place and walk away and breathe. Give yourself a breather. Tell someone you need some help. But Lord, 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 do not hurt these babies. Do not hurt these babies. Babies usually don't cry for nothing. You have a few who just wants to be held. Some just are sleepy. I still this day don't know why they cry when they're sleepy, because I need sleep. But babies do that. You have to try and figure out the problem before you crash out. And again, the cries can be a bit annoying. It is okay to put the baby in a crib or somewhere and walk outside. Smoke a cigarette, smoke a blunt, whatever you do. Relax, not whatever you do, just a cigarette or blunt. And just relax, breathe, pray. Hey, call your mama, call somebody to help calm you down. Then you go back in and you try the process of elimination again. Yeah, I do these stories for a reason. I will continue to teach and encourage parents, new parents, old parents, abusive parents, parents who will be abusive. Don't do it. Thank you for listening to Unheard Voices. Baby Daemon, I'm so sorry. No one hurt you. Rest in eternal peace.
Were proven beyond reasonable doubt, such a outweigh the mitigating circumstances established Section C above as to count one? No. Answer no to Section D. Do not proceed. Caleb Scott will be sentenced to life of this child was ongoing. The second medical examiner specifically referenced old brain injuries to this child that were several weeks old. This abuse was not occurring just the day of his death. This child was subjected to torment, abuse for the entirety of his short life. The medical examiner specifically stated that there were old injuries to the child's frontal lobe that were several weeks old. This child was the victim of abuse from you, Mr. Scott, the person who was charged with protecting him. You were supposed to be his protector, you were his tormentor, and ultimately his killer. The jury has shown you mercy. Mercy that you never showed to Daemon. I hereby sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole as to count 1.